The first part, one part of it for Kuwait is very important when you're talking about the pipeline. What we struggled with since the 1980s actually was what happens if God forbid something happened to the Hormuz Strait, and that's a problem that has flared up again recently. What Saudi Arabia did, as you probably know, Saudi Arabia has a lot of production in the east as well as in the west. They built a pipeline, which is called the East-West Pipeline, so that they can ship a lot of the oil from the Red Sea, thereby bypassing the Hormuz Strait. For us, that is the important question actually. What do we do in case something happened? And again, there were some plans, but they never materialized, frankly, for political reasons. Transporting oil, crude oil or products by oil tankers will remain very important, will remain an integral part of our policy and what we're going to do. The pipeline part, as I said, if it happens, is going to be done for strategic reasons. I remember in the late 80s, I worked personally on a project whereby we would import gas from Qatar or neighboring countries on land, and that pipeline would be used in emergencies to export our oil again to the Arabian Sea, bypassing the second part of the question. I did not understand what was it, or the second question, what was it that you wanted to know?
Currently, the infrastructure is based on the distribution of gasoline. I'm looking particularly at cars. Okay? Now, with the advent of electric-powered vehicles, you're looking for a different sort of station to power your vehicles and whatnot. Now, obviously, with the introduction of new forms of energy, including green energy of all sorts, one big obstacle is that the current infrastructure is not geared to the distribution of this energy. Are there any plans to resolve this?
Well, you're talking to me as a general human being or as a Kuwaiti? we frankly, as Kuwaitis, we hope that oil remains a very important and integral part of the requirements of the world. And what we would like to do is to see ways, and the technology is there, to have the oil usage become more and more environmentally friendly. And in the gasoline for the cars, there are, as you probably know, the hybrid cars where you can use this and that, and inside the city the car can utilize electricity, and then when you go on the highway it can utilize gasoline. But if something like this happens, of course, it's not going to be Kuwait that starts it. But we haven't, there's been always talk about the thing growing quicker. We haven't seen it yet. And as I said, oil will remain a big important part of the equation, no matter what happens with the other forms.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Great speech. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Yolanda Cabrera. My company is Kenda Enterprises, which Kenda, by the way, is the original name for Kuwait in 6th century, when the region was called Kenda. So that name came in honor of Kuwait. My question is, I came in after I moved my car, so I overheard you mention public relations. I overheard you mention public relations and community involvement. This year, or just last year, I participated with Petroleum Industries Corporation for the beach cleanup and their initiatives for Earth Day. And I just wondered, do you have a larger initiative for corporate social responsibility? And if so, how do we get involved more? Just to support what you're doing with the community.
But I was commenting on something. National oil companies, and this is true, national oil companies and what we call now the super majors that are extremely wealthy, and their industry pollutes the atmosphere and it's accident prone. So they are expected to do much more, and sometimes even when they do things properly, the community is not convinced. That was what I was commenting on. So they should do more. Number one, to improve the safety for their employees and the others, not to hurt the environment, and because they are wealthy, they should serve the community. And the community should see that they are doing things far beyond their running their business as usual, because they are very capable because of their resources and the number of the people they have. That's essentially what I'm saying.
Dr. Hani, my name is Zara Rowley. I'm a lawyer and I work for one of the prominent law firms here in Kuwait. And first, I'd just like to say what an honor it is to actually hear you speak and to meet you today. My question is a general one that draws on a lot of your experiences. Clearly, you're someone who's been in the oil and gas industry for a very long time, has a rich amount of experience and exposure. I'd like to know, in your opinion, what are the biggest challenges facing the oil and gas industry today?
Well, thank you for your question. And I think the challenge is, if we're talking about Kuwait in general, I think I went through the challenges. Kuwait Petroleum Corporation is expected to continue to provide revenue in a continuous manner and in a maximized manner to the country, no matter what happens, things like political events or problems in the market, etc., because the country depends on the oil for so much. At the same time, as I said, they are expected to do that in a safe manner and not to pollute the atmosphere and to serve the community. That's really parallels what is required from the oil industry in general. The oil industries have, in general, a big image problem, and that problem is to a certain extent deserved, because as I said, they operate in many regions of the world. They pollute the atmosphere. They have accidents. They are looked at as greedy, and you probably know that. I think it's Bolivia in South America is suing Chevron now for about, I don't know, it's 15 to 20 billion dollars. So that is a big challenge.
I just wanted to know if in the near future or soon, does Kuwait see any interest in investing in other developing countries that have recently discovered oil, like Ghana or Sudan or any other developing countries that have to help them produce and mass produce their oil? Does Kuwait have any interest in business investments in that regard?
Well, the answer is yes. Of course, when I've talked about on purpose, I made my speech very brief because there are many more details. One of the subsidiary companies of the Kuwait Petroleum Corporation is a company called KOFPER, which is Kuwait Foreign Exploration and Production Company, which deals in exactly what you have talked about. It has interests in many countries all around the world, in Pakistan, in Tunisia, in Egypt, and in about 4 or 5 other Asian countries. What they do is twofold. Again, it's economics as well as helping these countries look for and produce oil. Actually, they run not a very big operation compared to the size of Kuwait Petroleum Corporation, but it's fairly successful and fairly profitable, and I think it's fairly helpful to the countries where they are in.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hani, for your inspiring speech, and thank you very much for attending. Before you much again.